Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Nature. Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday.
It feels good to be back.
I am the great and pliable mystery. I was trying to think of another P word.
You seem so pliable today.
Pliable, adaptable.
I like
And
it.
who are you?
I'm just Jay today.
All snuggled up in a blanket like a bug in a rug.
Because it's freezing and it's cold in here. And I didn't dress appropriately.
All right. Today, we're going to talk about the whale shark.
Oh, biggest fish in the world?
Yes.
Currently existing, known to science.
So the only other one that could probably come close is Leadsichthys as a true fish, like a true monster fish. Leadsichthys.
The heck is that?
I believe they lived during the Jurassic, but they were...
Oh, I meant we want modern times.
But they were the equivalent of a whale shark then.
Wouldn't a megalodon been bigger?
No, megalodons aren't bigger than whale sharks now.
They're not?
No.
What?
We'll get to it.
Why do they make such a big deal about megalodon?
Because whale sharks are harmless.
Yeah, but still.
And megalodon had a lot of big teeth.
Yeah.
There are literally colonies of fish living inside just whale sharks' mouths.
Yeah, so these are the gentle giants, but...
Yeah, this is probably... it's a hard pick for me, but these are definitely probably my top 3 favorite animals.
Whale sharks?
Yeah. Because their family group they evolved from is pretty cool. But them as just a species, they have just no... Like, they're just as friendly as can be. They
cool
like being
looking.
pet by people.
Yeah,
They actually like to be pet by people. It's not that they let you do it. They will seek that out, which we'll talk about. But a whale shark is the size of a school bus, swimming slowly near the surface of the ocean. Their wide mouth is enormous, like a net, scooping up whatever happens to be around it. They mostly are consuming very small fish eggs, and plant matter. They are the world's largest fish. This won't be a short trip. The whale shark needs to travel about 5,000 to 6,000 miles each year to find enough food.
Okay. That makes sense, though.
And they're in every ocean. These guys just kind of, besides the Antarctic, as far they're a tropical species.
Okay.
They will go kind of around the tip of South America and stuff like that just to get around.
Right.
But they don't stay there very long. These are warm water giants. Whale sharks are nearly 8 hours a day gulping in about 10,000 gallons of ocean water to feed.
That's a lot of water.
Most of the time, they're about 40 feet long. Now, this is one that I've seen a lot of ichthyologists, which are people that study fish, argue about the length of a whale shark.
Okay.
Most of our big adults we have today are at the 40 to 45 foot range. So that'd be smaller than what you were kind of talking about, your megalodon. You know, and the megalodon estimates, because we just have the jaw on the front of the head fossils.
Right. It's
So
just
that's a hard
speculative biology.
Did they have giant mouths and were shorter, or vice versa? Were they huge? And
wouldn't it be funny if they had those giant mouths and they're only like 10 feet long?
I've seen people draw pictures of these giant lipped fish.
Yeah.
Because it just, anyways, there's some evidence that suggests whale sharks can get up to 65 feet in length. And there's one that we talked about, I think, on the Cryptids of Corn show that was seen in Australia. That was that giant white shark.
Yeah.
It was probably an albino whale shark.
That'd be a rare sighting.
Yeah, but it has happened.
It'd be like finding a shiny Pokemon.
Yeah, but it does happen.
Right. Yeah, it
whale
happens.
sharks are produced. They do have albinos. But yeah, the opening of the whale shark's throat is covered in about 20 giant pads with hundreds and hundreds of tiny holes on them. The seawater goes in. Their pads filter out all the food, sort of like a colander catching spaghetti while you're cooking it and draining out the water.
Makes sense.
Then the water escapes through their gill slits, and the food is pushed down the throat. So it's kind of like a screen over the esophagus, and food gets caught, water gets pushed to the side.
Right, and then they just swallow the food that's left.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's actually species of fish that live inside their mouth as protection. A lot of like batfish and stuff like that will live in the whale shark's mouth the whole life cycles.
So the whale shark's mouth's like the bat cave?
Yeah.
For the batfish?
Yeah, because it's a heck of a bodyguard.
I guess so. It's just big.
I mean, there's not many things that can eat an adult whale shark alive today. Orcas, we'll talk about it, are one of their big predators. Even orcas just kind of really don't mess with them because there's not a lot of food there as far as what an orca can eat.
You would think there would be, though.
Because they just eat sharks' livers.
Oh.
And these aren't predatory sharks.
Okay.
So they don't have a big developed liver. Great white sharks, their livers can be up to 2/3 their weight sometimes.
Jeez, really?
Well, because it's food, it's fat storage, it's lipid storage. So the gentle giant. Although whale sharks are the third biggest creature in our ocean, after blue whales and fin whales, they are actually bigger than most whale species. They are not aggressive. They have no threats to humans. The only time you can get hurt with a whale shark is getting too close to the tail. And most of the time they're swimming so slow it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it can pack a wallop enough to... It's moving something bigger than a school bus.
I was going to say.
So, but they move so slow around people. Most of the time it's not that big an issue. But that's the only way you can really get hurt with them. You can let them chew on you and stuff like that. Steve-O got chewed on by one.
I remember that.
And nothing happened.
I think that was on Wild Boys.
Yeah. He filled his pants full of pink fairy shrimp, which they love.
Yeah. Not a good idea.
And just chewed on him.
Just what a dumb idea, though. Because what if a hammerhead or something just came flying up out of nowhere? Just like
that's where it's not the whale shark you got to worry about.
No.
It's everybody else.
Right.
Whale sharks mostly swim and feed alone, but scientists have observed them hunting with other species of fish in March and August in the Western Australia Nagalo Reef. I think is when whale sharks, as well as other predators like tuna, other sharks, and even birds arrive for the plankton buffets caused by the coral spawning and egg laying. So coral all they sync up to even like the minute, these big coral colonies.
Of when they
spawn. Because they're animals, right? So they
Right.
release an egg and a sperm into the water and, reproduce that way. And they create little polyps and stuff like that. So quadrillions of eggs being released at one time. Like all sharks, though, whale sharks don't have any bones. Their skeletons are made up of cartilage. They're the same stuff found in human ears and noses. Cartilage is strong, flexible, and less dense than bones. Helps a whale shark swim fast when they need and use less energy. These guys can...
I was going to say, they can actually swim fast?
Yeah, they can book it if they need to. If they're getting harassed by somebody, they can move.
Okay.
It takes a lot to get them to move.
Wow.
Adult whale sharks really have no known natural predators. Although blue marlin and blue sharks prey on young ones.
Okay.
These guys start off really small.
Yeah.
Like, under a foot long.
Little babies.
Yeah. Unlike, great whites where they can come out pretty large.
Yeah. It's a good thing they aren't predators, though. It's probably a good thing.
Humans are the biggest threat to these endangered fish.
Yep.
Which is illegal hunting. They're sold for food most of the time. People just cut off their fins. A 60-foot animal, they just chop off the fins and eat that for soup and throw the animal still alive back into the water.
I don't understand the appeal for shark fin soup.
I don't want to get into it.
Don't they have loins that are like delicious sharks?
If you're I'm fine with eating an animal.
Yeah.
But eat the animal.
Not just part of it and throw
and
the
throw
rest
it back alive.
Yeah.
Alive.
No.
Do the decency of sharks, they
Killing
slowly
it.
suffocate.
Yeah.
Because he's
Can't
got to move.
Right,
Yeah, to breathe. Anyways. Yeah, so they were harvested illegally for their fins. And the other big thing right now is ocean pollutants. Mm-hmm. These guys die by the hundreds due to
eating all that crap.
Well, no, just ghost nets.
What's ghost nets?
All this abandoned fishing gear that's just floating in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
I just seen a video literally from a couple months ago to where, if I ever find it, I'll post it on the page, where these free divers had come across an abandoned big giant ghost net. Hundreds of dolphins, thousands, tens of thousands of fish, dead, alive, sea turtles stuck in it.
Oh, no.
And then 14 massive whale sharks.
Jeez.
Half of them were dead and half of them were still alive, and they're panicking. It's something that's bigger than a school bus, and they're panicking, accidentally killing everything else in the net because it's freaking out.
Yeah, right.
And these guys spent hours and hours. They cut massive holes and got all...
How big was this freaking net?
They're humongous. Some of them are miles long.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my... I didn't know that.
Abandoned fishing gear in the oceans is the number one killer of sea life. This morning, I just seen a humpback whale that had a bunch of netting just caught on his face.
Wow. I didn't know
they
that
freed it.
Didn't know that was
There's
such
a lot of good people out there just...
Right.
No, abandoned fishing gear is, I think, the number one plastic pollutant in the ocean right now.
That sucks. Mm-hmm. What a bad reputation of fishermen and fishing in general.
It's yeah. But thanks to part in protected areas and against a lot of harm whale sharks, scientists hope to have their numbers on the rise. These protected regions include Australia, India, the Philippines, and the United States. The Philippines was a hard one for a long time, not because the Filipino people were eating these, because there was such a big market in Japan for them, that there was a bunch of illegal poachers using the Philippines as a base.
Oh, okay.
Manta rays were also another one being destroyed in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Because they had to swim through there to go to a lot of their regions and stuff like that. Scientists are also tagging and tracking these gentle fish to learn more about their migration and breeding habitats. Yeah, these guys had tracks. They move thousands of miles a year, and they'll go to every ocean in their lifetime. They'll do everything. We don't know a lot about them besides that you can pet them.
That's pretty cool, though. That's if there's one thing you can know, it's that.
So let's get into some fun facts. Whale sharks have tiny teeth that cover their eyeballs.
Their teeth cover their eyeballs?
Whale sharks have tiny teeth that cover their eyeballs. It's probably to protect their peepers from harsh ocean habitats, or there's a lot of parasites that specifically target slow-moving sharks' eyes.
Yes, like the Greenland shark.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they think
That one I knew.
Yeah. So they think it's to prevent that.
That makes sense. You grow teeth over your eyes.
Up to 3,000 on their eyes.
Teeth?
Yeah.
What?
They're micro. They're basically invisible.
Okay.
The oldest known whale shark was about 60 years old, but researchers think this fish can live into the hundreds of years.
If they're that big, I don't see why not.
Like I said, there's most of our whale sharks alive today are right at the 40 to 45 foot mark. There's a couple we haven't officially measured that are probably in the 50s, and most biologists believe that they can get up to 65. That's also where lead 60s tapped out. We think as a cartilagenic fish, that's kind of like the limit.
The limit of the body plan.
Yeah. They can get, and still find enough food and support their weight. A whale shark's mouth has over 4,000 super small teeth arranged in 300 rows.
Dang.
And if anybody's ever felt like a catfish's mouth, like a North American catfish where they have really tiny, they're even smaller than that.
Yeah.
Whale sharks are filter feeders. They feed on the ocean's tiniest creatures. I already said whale sharks are cartilagenic fish. Female whale sharks are much larger than males, like a lot of species.
Oh, it's the opposite of the California condor from last week.
Whale sharks are found in every warm waters in the world.
Okay.
Even if they're just, residentials, there can be residential populations or migrants and all that stuff. If you're anywhere in the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Mediterranean, anything warm, you have a chance whale sharks will show up. And they just kind of follow their food. Whale sharks can be studied by their individual markings. So they're starry patterns. So they're black-purple,
unique.
Back, and they have the white or blue dots all over their body. It's 100% unique.
That's pretty cool.
So whale shark researchers pretty much just take a picture of right above the dorsal fin, and they use that as their
reference guide. Yeah,
and they actually have books of all the individuals. So a whale shark researcher could take a picture of that part and then go back later and be like,
compare it.
Oh, that was T13.
See, that's something like you could use AI for. That would be a good resource.
Yeah, just speed through that real quick, and it'll tell you who it is
immediately.
And that's really important for a lot of this research because, like I said, they're highly migratory.
Right.
So the same whale shark that was seen out of the coral horn in Africa, you could be seeing in Australia, a couple months later. And it's important to understand that. That's the thing with great white sharks. Now, we have a lot less great white sharks than we originally thought.
Oh, really?
Because they're so highly migratory.
So it's like
you're sharing the same white sharks with Africa as Australia as North America.
Yeah.
So I think their population got cut in a third once we kind of found that out.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like they would
That's
start
a big cut.
When they start tagging them, because the ones they're seen in Hawaii are the same ones in Africa.
Yeah, same guys.
So that's what's happening with these guys too. One of the longest trips a tagged whale shark had ever made was 8,000 miles in about 30 months.
That's a pretty good amount of distance.
Just moving it. But yeah, they take thousands of miles of journeys without ever coming close to shore.
Do people ever sell like whale shark skin goods?
I'm sure there's a market for every endangered species.
They are endangered, so
critically.
They're okay. So it's illegal to harvest them.
Yeah, and tourism may be what's saving these guys too, because there's so much in the Philippines, for example, there's more money to be made from live whale sharks than dead whale sharks.
Okay,
because taking tourists out to swim with them.
Right.
One dead whale shark gets you one payday. A couple live ones every day. Take a boat full of tourists, let them swim with these guys.
Yeah,
they're not going to hurt them.
Just feed them.
But where was I? Oh, so yeah, there's a couple spots in the Yucatan Peninsula that is quote unquote they swarm with whale sharks.
Is it a breeding ground?
We're not sure. We have never witnessed these guys actually breeding. Well, there's only a couple pictures of really tiny babies. But there was 400 whale sharks seen there at one time.
And Yucatan's on the west side of Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's near the Baja, right? Or in California, the Baja Peninsula.
Right.
I think the Yucatan's there too.
Is it? That's what I was thinking in my head too.
Yeah. You can swim with whale sharks. There's plenty of areas that you can do it. Most places you can do it is Australia, Mexico, Honduras, in the Philippines. Which Honduras is where, Jay?
Honduras. Is that South America? No,
Yes.
but in like the island areas. Yeah.
And it's, for the longest time, I thought it was Europe. It just sounds like a European country.
I definitely knew it wasn't there.
But it just sounds like one of the European countries.
I guess.
Whale sharks can live well over 100 years. Like I already said, most of our older individuals are between 50 and 60 years old that are alive today, due to, overhunting and all that stuff. But we do believe they can live well into their 150s, if not older. My last one for you, whale sharks are critically endangered. They are red listed, the IUCN red list. They are that. They are still hunted in some areas and can be vulnerable to shark finning industry. Since they are slow and they also grow very slowly to reproduce. The populations may not recover very quickly if the species is overfished. Same with like big whales and stuff. They just don't breed very often. Mm-hmm. They take forever to get big. And that's kind of the thing with all these massive species we see, is they just take forever to get that big.
Right.
Even like the sauropod dinosaurs. We've talked about Argentinosaurus on the show. They probably didn't breed until they were in their 50s.
Dang.
Because they took forever.
That would take forever.
To get big. So that's the whale shark for you. Probably my favorite animal, or it's up there. But yeah, so talk about them. They actually seek people out. They become habituated to people very easily. They have little parasites that grow on their skin, and human hands are really good at getting them off.
Oh, okay.
So it's like Dr. Pimple Popper for sharks.
Ugh.
But
I never got into that stuff.
It's not for me either, but a lot of people do.
Oh,
but so
I know.
It's like getting that stuff removed.
Okay.
So they'll seek people out. They love swimming with people. I seen one guy got caught in the mouth of one time.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one too.
And the shark's like, well, I don't know what to do. Move.
Right, yeah, exactly. It spits him out, right?
It can't really spit out. But it's not like trying to swallow him.
No, right. It's not, or
just
chewing
like,
him.
Most time fish just get out of the way. They move so slow.
Right. It's time.
Like aquatic animals just get out of the way.
It's like, you've seen Austin Powers, haven't you? Mm-hmm. Remember the scene where he's driving that steamroller?
Yeah.
And the guy's like...
It was a Zamboni, wasn't it? No, it was a steamroller.
Yeah, with the big rollers. Deadpool, yeah.
Did a Zamboni.
Guys, no. And he's like, move. No. Mm-hmm. And he runs him over.
Yeah, so whale sharks are just these incredible... I
like whale sharks.
Just so gentle. As far as... actually, like when we talk about quote-unquote gentle giants, elephants are not gentle.
They're definitely... Oh, no.
Sauropods, we kind of have this image in modern day that these giant dinosaurs would have been gentle.
Like from
Jurassic
Land Before
Park.
Time.
And, yeah. Or, you could drive right beside a sauropod.
Right.
No, you probably couldn't.
It'd probably stomp you to
They
death.
would probably kill you the second they seen you because they are programmed to get rid of competition and predators for their offspring.
You're right, okay.
So even though you're not a threat to them,
you might be for their babies.
So they would kick you, and you would just instantly, turn to dust.
That's not the vision I had as a kid growing up. Because I had the Brontosaurus toy or whatever, the big, or my brother did. Big, like 3 foot tall, long neck dinosaur. It wouldn't hurt a fly. There's no way.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a reason nothing ate them.
Well, yeah, because they get stomped to death before
because they get kicked.
The opportunity to.
Yeah, because they're just living tanks.
Or being like on the Ark game, they just swing their tail.
I think the only...
Forest.
And dugongs, so manatees' whole family are not gentle.
Okay.
Dugongs kill people.
Okay.
Manatees don't. I think in my head, the only truly gentle things are whale sharks and manatees. I'm not saying a manatee won't kill you or couldn't kill you. It's just very unlikely.
Right, yeah. They seem pretty chill.
They hug, and if you pull away, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
And they die from getting too cold. Like a bunch of them just died in Florida this past week.
Oh, that sucks.
Because they didn't get to the springs in time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the smartest. I love them, but they're not they're not
fast. A little dopey.
They're a little dopey. Because they just get big enough in fresh water that nothing really can hurt them.
Right, yeah.
Their alligators and crocodiles in Florida are just like,
nah.
That's really big.
Yeah, we ain't going to take the chance.
But no, whale sharks. That's on my bucket list. That's something I've talked about with Emily a long time, is getting to swim with them. That's something I really want to do.
That'd be pretty
It's not a lot of money. Depending on when you go, if you go in Mexico or the Philippines are kind of the two best places. Australia also has a couple of really good reefs. It's not guaranteed. It's like whale watching.
Right,
It's not guaranteed they're going to be there, but they can be like, yeah, there's been a lot of whale sharks this week out there. But whale sharks, they feed them in a lot of those places too.
Right.
So they're kind of like,
draw them in.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, yeah. Boat strikes are another big killer. I kind of skipped over that.
Boats hitting them?
Yeah. Whales die from that too, and I'm talking like ships.
Yeah, the big guys.
Yeah, because they're just so slow, and in nature they're so used to things not eating them. They did keep in mind they were around for the time of Megalodon and Leviathan, these gigantic ocean predators, and they survived, and those guys didn't.
So it's saying something.
Yeah. So they are, once they get big, they are quite comfortable.
Eat plankton.
Yeah, they're quite comfortable in not being preyed upon. And it's probably because they're not as nutritious as like the cetaceans, whales, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they're just hard to kill, as far as a predator in the water.
As far as big fish
But
goes.
if they stop, they start suffocating. But that's been the whale shark.
The whale shark.
Probably the only animal so far on the list you can pay a little bit of money and go pet.
Yeah, probably.
I guess a fire salamander, but they really don't want you touching them.
I bet there's something else we've covered. I don't know, though.
I don't think.
I bet Steller seagulls, you could probably pet them pretty easy.
I don't think cheaply. I think to Mexico, I think the boat ride's only like $50.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. I have been the great and peaceful mystery.
And I've been Jay.
And we'll catch you next week. Remember, stay warm out there.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.